salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east. All across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State. Oh, Texas got it all, y'all.
Well, howdy, neighbors. I'm your Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters right here on RFD TV. Today, we're shining a light on a crop that's as hardy and spirited as Texas itself, sunflowers. Now, grown in the high plains, the rolling Hillsborough region, and South Texas, these plants are as versatile as they are beautiful. They're not just another pretty face either. Sunflowers are cultivated for their oil, their tasty snacks, and even as a healthy addition to our meals. Farmers also grow them for animal feed, including bird seed and for dove hunting food plots. Let's not forget, many of us enjoy these sunny blooms in our gardens too. Now, these plants are Texas tough, needing just an inch of rain a week and standing strong against most pests. They're also friends to the bees and other pollinators. So some producers plant them as a main crop, while others use them as a catch crop, especially after a tough season with grains or cotton. Planting sunflowers near other row crops, such as corn, can even help protect the main crop. Texas proudly stands fourth in sunflower production nationwide, even ahead of Kansas, which is known as a sunflower state. In 23, Texas produced 61,250,000 pounds from around 50,000 acres. Sunflowers are also stars of our growing agritourism scene. With their lengthy growing season, sunflower farms draw families and photographers alike throughout the summer and fall. These visits are vital for our rural communities by boosting our local economies in services and lodging industries. This sunny side of farming is just another way, folks. Texas agriculture matters.
During the fall at Froberg's farm in Alvin, Texas, the fields are on fire with sunflowers. And folks from all over Southeast Texas come out to bask in their beauty.
We can actually grow sunflowers around 9 months out of the year. So we're planting them all the way through early spring, all the way through the summer, and all the way through the fall. The only time we really don't grow them is November through February.
Tyler Froberg, the farm manager, says the sunflowers sort of accidentally on purpose happened. In 2020, the Frobergs didn't really know what they were going to do with their U-Pick strawberry crop because of COVID. So they decided to pull up the strawberries and seed up some sunflowers.
It pulled up all of the strawberry plants, and my uncle had this great idea, said, let's just plant a cover crop. Let's plant sunflowers. Well, people driving by could see them from the road. People started to ask, wait, can we go out in the sunflowers? Since we're an outdoor facility and we got the thumbs up from the county to open back up, our sunflower business was born. We mow a trail through our sunflowers in both the spring and the fall so people can come out, and it's almost majestic. It's like you're walking through a forest of sunflowers. We allow them to pick their own, and then we even grow a small patch for pre-cut flowers to sell at our retail store.
And a new specialty crop caught on here at this agritourism destination. Alfred Froberg was already known for growing wildly beautiful wildflowers, but sunflowers?
We have good agricultural agents, that would kind of point us in the right direction. And I just took a lot of chances. That was the main thing, we just took chances, and they were real easy to grow. Sunflowers is a joy,
And they certainly bring joy to others. Visitors can pick their own, take photos, or buy a bunch from the on-site store. And Tyler loves to walk you through the process on his social media pages.
Pressing the row one more time as we lay the drip irrigation so that we can capture any moisture possible.
So I've always had a passion for educating. At one point I thought I'm going to be an agriculture science teacher and an FFA advisor. However, during COVID, we found everyone was taking to social media, and people were really interested to know what we were doing on the farm. So with my passion for educating, and of course I'm a millennial, I thought let's download some of these apps. Now I had zero social media experience or professional videography experience or anything like that, so 100% self-taught. But what we found was that people really appreciated the ground, and they really appreciated the authenticity. Here at Froberg's Farm, what you see is what you get.
My favorite definition for horticulture is growing food for the body and or the soul.
He's become quite the ag influencer with the videos on TikTok and Instagram.
Smell beautiful, but they can do a whole lot more than just look pretty.
While sunflowers are the newest crop on this farm, the Frobergs say their biggest draws are the corn maze in the fall and the strawberries in the spring. And year-round, folks are welcome to walk through this working farm.
They'll actually see it's not just a make-believe farm or a little fairy tale farm. This is one of the last working farms on the Gulf Coast on our kind of operation. And they can see us planting strawberries. They can see us pulling turnips and mustard greens, and you know, we grow Christmas trees, and there's a lot of people, they said, we didn't know there was any farms this close into Houston.
This little specialty crop haven is worth a detour, especially if you want a little sunshine in your life.
Every sunflower we grow is strictly for the floral value. Horticulture is defined by growing food for the body and or the soul, and this is very much food for the soul.
In Alvin, Texas, I'm Tammy Arender for RFD TV.
Well, thank you for that, Tammy. Hey, today it's my pleasure to have Ellis County's Farm Bureau President, Scott Bourne. Now, joining me today is Scott. Thank you for being here with us today.
Good to be here, Commissioner.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I call myself a skip-a-generation farmer because my grandparents, both of them, farmed in the Panhandle. I grew up in Perryton, Texas, but I got a degree in electrical engineering, and I came to Dallas, and along the way I started farming on the side, and eventually I just did that full-time. So I farm in Ellis and a little bit in Dallas County and some in Kaufman County.
Now, you're a wheat farmer and sunflowers, but today we're going to talk about sunflowers. Why sunflowers?
We grow the sunflowers just kind of to give us some diversity in our crop mix. And, they do good when it's hot and dry, and maybe some other things don't. And then, most years we try to have some, but, some years the price just doesn't work and we skip them.
So hot and dry, that means a lot of places in Texas are ideal for sunflowers, I guess.
Yeah, I think they seem to thrive in the heat. They need some water, but if you have some good subsoil moisture, in our area, like in Central Texas, you get some good subsoil moisture during the winter, and then they can carry themselves through it without a lot of extra rain.
I've grown a lot of crops. I've never grown sunflowers. But tell us something about sunflowers that we might not know.
Well, the thing that fascinates me about them is it's a fake flower. The sunflower head there is like maybe 1,300 little flowers arranged in this array, and those petals around the outside, they're not really petals. Those yellow, they're leaves.
Oh, really?
So it's like 1,300 flowers arranged in the shape of a fake flower, and if you really want to get into the mathematics of it, they're arranged in these spirals. There's spirals that go two different directions.
Really?
And they're always a number in the Fibonacci series. So, some of those numbers in that mathematical series, it goes like 34, 55, 89, and so it's pretty fascinating plant.
Well, I never thought about it. I certainly didn't know that. But now sunflowers, do they actually follow the sun all day long? They turn with the sun?
When they're small, the top of the plant, the field will look different whatever time of day you're going by, because in the morning, especially from the time they come up almost, they point towards the east. They straight up in the middle of the day. But when the head comes out, when the flower comes out, they all face to the east, and they're just fixed there.
I think that's the most fascinating thing about them. Have you noticed any trends or changes in the sunflower industry? I know back when I grew up, everybody played baseball, and all the baseball players chewed tobacco. Now they don't chew tobacco, they chew sunflower seeds, right? I think that's probably a good improvement, especially if you're a sunflower farmer, right? So what are some of the new things in the sunflower industry?
I mean, so there's two different kinds of sunflowers, really. There's maybe kind of a mix of the two, but there's confectionery, which are the ones that people eat like you're talking about, and then there's oilseed sunflowers, the little black seeds. And there's kind of a corn oil that's in between them. I did grow some of those one time, but most of the time we're growing the oilseed sunflowers. We started out growing them for oil, and then later on we've been growing them for the birdseed market.
Which one is it for the birdseed? They're the black ones, right?
Yeah, that's the oilseed.
Oilseed. Okay. Hey, folks, I'm sorry, we got to take a break. I got fascinated here, but we got to get caught up. We'll be right back with more on the Texas sunflowers. Well, howdy, neighbors. Welcome back to Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, I'm your host, Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller. Now, let's continue our talk with Scott Bourne. What specific varieties do you grow, and why do you pick those varieties at your farm?
Well, I mean, of course, we're growing those oilseed varieties, and, I've planted a lot of different varieties through the years, some Triumph varieties. There's some new seed variety, one of them's called Cobalt, that we grew a lot for the oilseed market. But if you grow them for birdseed, some of them are kind of gray, but if you grow it for birdseed, they have to be black, because people won't buy them if they're in a bag. If a black bag's next to a gray bag, they'll buy the black one,
Oh, really?
So we have to grow the black ones, and so there was a new seed variety called Falcon that we've grown, and then we've also grown a good Pioneer variety but if you're going for the birdseed market, you better make sure it's black.
So how do you harvest these? I mean, what do you regular combine? Any special adjustments or attachments? Or?
Yeah, we just use a regular combine, and I own a couple of Fantini headers.
Okay.
It's an Italian company to start out with, and they make a header specifically for sunflowers, and so it helps you reduce a lot of losses at the header.
Well, that's good.
But combine's pretty hard to adjust for sunflowers because those combines are designed for corn, and so it requires some careful attention to keep them all in the combine.
I thought probably something like that. Now, I've never grown sunflowers, but I've grown cantaloupes and watermelons, and the problem I have with that is what I call finger blight, especially if they're right on the highway.
Yeah.
So do you have any problem with tourists stopping, taking pictures, cutting the sunflower? How do you deal with that?
Oh, yeah, I don't blame people for wanting to take a picture, and a lot of people maybe get upset about people stopping. I really don't mind people stopping. I wish they just wouldn't cut them off and take them with them or knock them down. But if you just want to stop and take a picture, I'm fine with that. I have had some on I-45 before, and they can just about create a traffic jam on the service road, people stopping.
Well, those fields are absolutely beautiful.
They are.
Is there any consideration or tips you could give anybody that maybe want to grow some sunflowers? Maybe not on your scale, but maybe just a couple of rows in the garden, just admire themselves or cut and use it in the house or give away to friends?
Well, it's a pretty small seed, so you don't want to plant them too deep. But I think the main pest of them is a head moth. And so I talked to a lot of people that, I grew some in my garden and they just didn't make, and that head moth can get in there. So we just always spray for the head moth, and we usually spray it when the bud is out, but it's just fixing to open up, and otherwise they'll get all the seed and turn the head in kind of a spongy thing. And so that's one thing. If you're going to grow them, as a crop, you better have a contract, because it's not like wheat or corn where you can just take it to the local elevator.
Yeah, or let the cows eat them or anything like that. So growing sunflowers, kind of just in general, What time of year do we plant? How long is the crop? When do we harvest? Just the general
They're
stuff.
pretty forgiving on when you can plant them. I mean, they'll come up early. You could probably plant them anytime in March. You could probably plant them into April, even in our Central Texas area anyway. And say you plant them at the end of March, they'll probably be ready for harvest. Last 2 weeks of July, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Fairly short crop.
Fairly short.
So you get the question everybody gets. Why do you think Texas agriculture matters?
Well, I mean, we provide a lot of food and clothing to people, all over the United States. Texas has a big impact on cotton and wheat and corn and other crops too, and we provide a lot of food exported to the world too. So I mean, Texas is an important part of keeping everybody fed and clothed.
Scott, thanks for being with us today and telling us a little bit more about sunflowers. I know I learned a lot, so.
It was good to be with you.
You bet. Thank you very much. Hey, folks, we're going to take a break. We're going to go look at another one of our proud Go Texan partners. Stay tuned. For over 20 years, the Texas Department of Agriculture's Go Texan program has helped promote products made right here in the Lone Star State. From boots to salsa, Go Texan members make the best stuff on earth. Now, friends, let's take a look at one of these fine Texas businesses and why they are Go Texan proud.
Go Texan every day.
John Burnell, I'm owner, operator of Shrimp Outlet Specialty Seafood and Meat. Well, I'm a third generation shrimper. We sell the product that comes off of our boats or our friends' boats. I also have a commercial fishing license, and we have fish local caught as well as around the United States. Wild caught, everything is wild caught. Well, we produce quite a bit of product out of Texas. There's no need to be buying outside of Texas. If you have to, it's just a specialty item, and we carry some of that. But majority of it we catch right out of here, Texas. The quality travels. I joined the Go Texan program because it was a fantastic idea, and it's working very well so far. The people are extremely helpful. They help us with our product. They help us advertise our product. And you can't beat our product, especially when you got the backing of something like Go Texan program. Texas agriculture matters because it employs quite a bit of people here in Texas. Texas agriculture has been extremely prevalent in my life, growing up in a rural area and seeing the agriculture business decrease and then increase again. And being helped out by programs like the Go Texan program has been extremely helpful in the industry. I'm John Kyle Burnell with Shrimp Outlet Specialty Seafood and Meat, and I am Go Texan proud.
Well, neighbors, thank you for joining us for another episode of Texas Agriculture Matters. Hey, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Texas sunflowers and sunflower production here in the Lone Star State. Sunflowers got their name because these tall, beautiful plants were said to follow the sun across the sky. Turns out that's not entirely true. Mature sunflowers stand strong and face east, making the most of our sunny Texas days even during the hottest parts of the summer. Now, as we part ways, remember the strength and positivity these sunflowers represent, qualities that embody the optimism and the backbone of our state. As always, I'd like to close by saying thanks to every Texas farmer and rancher who works from sunrise to sunset to help keep our rural heritage alive. Finally, here's today's cowboy logic. A cowboy's luck runs dry when he starts counting it. Think about it. Thank you. God bless you. And remember, friends, Texas agriculture matters.
From the salty Gulf Coast to the rolling high plains, to the piney woods in the east, all across our dear Texas, folks need good food to eat. Our farmers and ranchers are heroes. They've always made Texas great. Texas agriculture agriculture matters. It's the heart of the Lone Star State.
Oh, Texas got it all.